Okay, great. So today we are going to do the listening lesson 4. We haven't done listening lesson 4, right? Yes, no.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So in this, we talk about arts, the subjects of arts that we have over here. Now, over here, we are going to try to identify suggestions in a conversation, and we are also going to see how to take notes about a conversation. Okay. Now, here you have to pretend that you are a university student who is going to major in arts. That's what you have to guess. Now, over here, on the screen, you can see four different pictures. Correct? I want you guys to look at the pictures and tell me which art forms are these. Which art forms are these? You have to answer one by one.
Done, ma'am.
Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Pranjali.
My first one is instrument class, second one is photography, third one painting, and last one is dancing.
Okay. Last one is dancing, second is painting, third one is photography. Okay, good. Hamza, were your answers the same?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Next, which one do you like the most and why? Which of these art forms do you like the most and why?
Done, ma'am.
Done?
Yes.
Pranjali?
Yes, done.
Okay. You have to answer me. Which one do you
Uh,
like the
like
most and why?
uh, I like the paint. I like painting the most as a profession because it is a very noble profession. And
Mm-hmm.
secondly, painting, like in according to me, have a very great scope, and
Okay.
that's it. I don't
That's
know much
it?
about. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No worries. Pranjali?
Ma'am, I like to do photography because I love taking pictures, and also
Clicking
it helps.
pictures. I like clicking pictures. Hmm.
I like clicking pictures, and I think photography is now really trending in all the fields.
Okay. That's true, I would say. Okay, great. Now, over here, we are going to listen to a conversation between a student and an art department receptionist. Okay, we're going to listen to a conversation, as I told you. We're going to listen to a conversation between a student and a receptionist in the art department. Now, over here, you have to try taking notes. Of course, the way we have gone through note taking, you have to take notes for the main ideas over here. I'll play the audio quickly.
Listen to a conversation between a student and a department receptionist.
Good morning. Anything I can help you with?
Good morning. Yes, I'm looking for Professor Reese from the art department.
Do you have an appointment?
Actually, no, but it's her office hours right now, so I thought I'd stop by to discuss a problem I'm having with my research paper.
Okay. I think she's in a meeting right now, but she should be available after that. The meeting should be over in about 15 minutes. So you can wait for her outside of her office, room 202, right upstairs.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, what
Yes,
was the
ma'am.
main idea of the conversation?
Like he have to discuss the problem for his research paper.
He wants to. He has to. He wants
Yeah, he wants
to.
to.
Okay. Okay. Now try to answer the questions which are given over here. What do you think will happen next and why?
After 15 minutes, he will meet the professor and will discuss his problem.
Okay, Pranjali.
Yes, ma'am. Same answer.
Okay. If you were a student in the conversation and had an assignment to write a research paper for your art class, what problems do you think you would have?
Problem related to citations, related to the resources, like
Okay.
from where, yes, ma'am, and what to include and what not to include in
Okay.
the
What
research
else?
paper. Yes.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Pranjali.
Mm, ma'am, actually, I don't understand the question proper.
Okay, if you were the student and had such an assignment to do for on art subject and you had to write a research paper on it, what problems would come up while writing a research paper? That's what we are discussing here.
Okay. Mm, no idea.
No idea? Okay, no problem. Now, over here, we are going to look at the listening skill, which is again important for us. That is listening for a suggestion in a conversation. Whenever a suggestion or an idea is given, it's a possible plan for somebody to do something. Correct? For example, if I tell you that you should study in the morning, it's a suggestion that I'm giving you. Correct? Now, when someone is giving a suggestion, it's important that we recognize and understand the suggestions which will help them to solve the problems and improve their conversation skills. When, especially, of course, when we are at the university. Now, the words that we use to give suggestions are something like I suggest, I advise, or I recommend you. Right? How about we do this? Or what about that? That's how we would say it. Then why don't you try? Why not go for this? ऐसे करके we'll make the questions. You don't need to or you need to wake up early. You can or you should wake up early and consider waking up early, or I can also say try waking up early. Correct? These are the kind of suggestions that we give, and these are the phrases that we use while giving suggestions. Now, when you listen to the audios, also, the professor will be giving suggestions, some kind of suggestions to their students. So that's where we pay attention and listen to it again. Now, over here, you are going to listen to a conversation about what the student does after talking with the receptionist. Pay close attention and, of course, take notes also because I'm going to ask you a few questions. Okay.
Listen to a conversation between a student and his art professor.
Hi, Chris. Come in. Sit down. What can I help you with?
Hi, Professor Reese. Well, actually, I wanted to talk to you about our paper that's due next Tuesday.
Oh, okay. What about it?
Well, to be honest, I have a lot going on right now. Monday, I have to visit that new exhibit that just opened at the art museum. It's for one of my classes. And on Tuesday, I have a really important exam, and, well, your paper's due. So I guess what I'm asking is there any way I could have an extension on the paper? Like, maybe I could turn it in a few days later?
Hmm, Chris, I'm sorry, but I can only give extensions in emergency situations. Also, you've known about this due date since the start of the semester. It's in the class syllabus.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I understand what you're going through. We all go through busy times. But just so you know, it's not easy to get an assignment extension for any of your classes. Anyway, have you already chosen a topic for your paper?
Well, no, I haven't.
Okay, you have less than a week to write this paper. I suggest you choose a piece of art and complete your research as soon as you can. Remember, you can write about any piece of art from the Impressionist movement.
Okay, I can do that this afternoon.
Great. And if you have any questions, I'll be here for about another hour.
Thanks, Professor Reese.
You're welcome. That's why I'm here. Also, it seems like you're really busy. Do you use a personal planner?
Oh, like one of those notebooks that have dates and stuff in them? Actually, I haven't used one of those since high school.
Well, Why don't you invest in getting a nice one to use now? Personal planners keep you on track. They help you finish your work on time. And they also improve your time management skills, which is really valuable in today's job market.
Okay, I can definitely see the benefits of using a personal planner. Maybe I'll grab one at the campus bookstore this evening. Anyway, I really appreciate your advice.
Of course. Actually, while you're here, I want to talk to you about your last few assignments.
Oh, sure. Is everything okay?
Well, I think you have some great ideas, and your research meets my expectations, but sometimes your writing is hard to follow.
Hard to follow? You mean like the way I organize things?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I'm really good at doing research, but yeah, sometimes I have problems presenting things in a clear manner.
You know what? Do you ever use outlines? I think making an outline before you start writing could help you organize your papers better.
Well, I've never been a huge fan of outlines, but maybe it's time to start using them.
Yeah, try using one for your impressionist paper. Outlines help you plan out whatever you need to write, and they can speed up the writing process. I used to use outlines all the time when I was a student.
Okay, it was a comparatively longer audio, correct? Okay, let's try answering the questions. You can write down the answers as of now.
Then,
Excuse me. Okay, done. Pranjali.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me your answers.
ma'am, the answer of first is the student reason for visiting his professor for extension on submission of research paper.
Okay, very good.
Yes, ma'am.
Pranjali, what's your answer?
Ma'am, the reason for visiting professor is getting extension on paper.
Correct, very good. Try answering the question number two, Pranjali.
Mm, because he don't have time.
ही के साथ में don't use करते हैं हम.
He doesn't have time.
Yeah, he has lot to do and he doesn't have time. Anything else? The reason that he gives is he has to visit a new exhibit as an at an art museum for a class and he has an important exam. Correct? So he
Okay.
gives that reason also. Last question, Hamza. Try answering it.
Ma'am, the professor replied in a very cooperative manner, but
Cooperative manner.
ma'am, I'm confused. Like the
Mm-hmm.
professor was also strict at the same time because she decided that we only give extension on research paper in emergency cases.
Exactly.
So
That's
like,
why all the universities, right? When you talk about higher level universities, they
right.
usually do not give any kind of extensions because they also
So
have a lot of things to do, correct? Hmm.
so what should I write in professor's reply to the student request? That the
Here the
professor
answer will
said no?
be, the professor cannot give the student an extension because she can only give an extension in emergency situation.
Anyway. Okay.
Also, the student has known the due date since the start of the semester. So he should have
Ah,
submitted it by now.
okay.
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 You can always submit it early, but you can't submit it late. That's the thing, correct?
Okay.
Now, usually what our Indian professors do is they give us if the deadline is 31st of March, they will give us a 15th March as deadline. So even if the students submit late, they have some time to take those submissions, correct? That's what
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
Indian professors do. But in other countries, they don't follow such system, correct? The date is the date. You have to submit it, and they do not be lenient with it. Okay. So
Okay.
now over here, the next part that we have is, okay, we have some more questions. According to the professor, what are the benefits of using a personal planner?
First, second, and third.
First, second, and third. Okay. Pranjali,
First and third.
Hamza, read the question once.
Sorry.
So how will the second one be the answer?
Sorry.
Correct. So first and third are the answer. It can improve your time management skills and it can keep you on track. Number five, what is wrong with the students' last few assignments?
It was not organized properly.
Okay. Pranjali, any other points?
His writing hard to follow.
His writing is hard to follow.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Last one.
To prepare an
Yes, sorry.
outline for sixth question.
Huh. Okay. The professor suggests the student to choose a piece of art and finish the needed research as soon as possible. She also tells the student to use an outline when writing. That could be your pointers. Those could be your pointers in the last one. Okay. Now over here, I'm going to play the conversation clips. You have to listen to these four clips and you have to tick mark the clip number if it is giving a suggestion. And you have to write down the suggestion also if they are suggestions basically. Okay. I'll play the audio.
Clip 1.
Do you use a personal planner?
Oh, like one of those notebooks that have dates and stuff in them? Actually, I haven't used one of those since high school.
Well, why don't you invest in getting a nice one to use now? Personal planners keep you on track. They help you finish your work on time.
Clip 2.
So, what do you have planned for this weekend?
Well, I have a huge test on Monday, so I'll probably end up studying the whole weekend.
Really? That doesn't sound fun at all.
Yeah, I'm not too excited about it either, but I really want to ace my test this year.
Clip 3.
So I still haven't done any research for Professor Gable's report.
Derek, seriously? It's due at the end of this month. You need to go to the library and get that research done. Like now.
I know. It's just I have so much going on right now.
Clip 4. Well, I've never been a huge fan of outlines, but maybe it's time to start using them.
Yeah, try using one for your impressionist paper. Outlines help you plan out whatever you need to write, and they can speed up the writing process.
Okay. Tell me your answers.
Ma'am, that first one is that you should use a planner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Second.
So that it can keep. No, ma'am. Second is not giving any suggestion.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Number three,
Number three is like going to the library.
go to the library and do research. Do the research.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's
Yes,
again a suggestion. Number
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
four,
Try using outline.
okay, for impressionist paper, correct? Very
Yes, ma'am.
good. Those were your answers. You got it? The different task. We are going to move to writing. The second unit that we are going to cover today is writing. It is also easy compared to listening, what we did today. Okay. Let me just share my screen 1 second. Okay. Is it So, next unit that we have is writing lesson 4. In this lesson, we talk about psychology. Now, before we start with this topic, I want to ask you guys, what do you know about psychology as a topic? When we say psychology, what do you understand?
Like by etymology, it is, yeah, like by etymology, it means like the study of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Study of mind. Okay. Pranjali, what are your guesses? You guys know that you guys talk topics from psychology subject also, correct? In your reading passages.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the reason we are going through it. So, what do you understand by psychology? Psychology is nothing but the study of human and animal behavior. It's not study of mind. Okay, nobody can read the mind. Even the
Okay.
greatest psychologists have not learned how to read minds. Nobody can read your mind. Okay, it's just a myth. Psychologists cannot read your mind. They can read your body language. They can read your facial expressions. Okay, but they can't read your mind. Okay. Now, in this, we are going to see how to write about concession and rebuttal statements. What are they? We are going to look at them also. Do not get confused. Then we are going to look at how to write a paragraph and understand writing item types that we have. And we are also going to look at models, the model auxiliary verbs that we use for possibility. Okay, that's the main thing that we're going to learn in today's session. Now, over here, the first part that we have is drive carefully. Over here, you have a short passage which has been given. I want you to read the passage and then answer the questions which are given below. One second.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, Pranjali.
Yes, done, ma'am.
Okay, tell me your answers.
Ma'am, article mention about increase in number of traffic accident
Article
involving young people.
mentions. Article mentions.
Yeah,
Hmm.
article mentions about increase in number of traffic accident involving young people over the past year.
Okay, incidents,
And the
traffic incidents. Hmm. Go on.
leading causes are speeding and running red lights.
Running red lights. Okay, very good. Pranjali, are your answers the same?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how can Pranjali is answering this? How can we teach young people to be more responsible when driving?
We can teach young people to follow traffic laws, put their phone away, and don't drink while driving.
Okay, that's it.
Yes.
Okay, 1 second. Next, over here, we have an article. Uh, okay, you can read it from here. We have an article. This is a passage from a psychology textbook, which talks about nature versus nurture. Nature versus nurture. Okay, read the passage, then I'm going to ask you a few questions on it. Okay,
I'm done now.
okay, Pranjali done.
Yes, done.
Next.
Done.
Done? Okay. Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
great. Now, you have to tell me what is the major argument between nature and nurture in human development and behavior?
That whether nature influences more or nurture influences more.
Okay.
Yes,
Pranjali, what's your answer? Pranjali, try answering.
And I think both are different things.
Mm-hmm. So your ideal answer over here will be supporters of nature think that genes have more influence on our personality traits, while supporters of nurture state that the environment plays a greater role in human development. Okay, that's what we mean by nurture. How the upbringing of a child is. That's your nurture over here. Okay, and nature is the natural behavior of that person. If any one of you has watched सर्कस में क्या मूवी का नाम था सर्कस ही था ना शायद वो जो रणवीर सिंह की मूवी आई थी वेयर दे हैव बीन शोन एज ट्विंस in that he talks about the same study if you guys remember if you guys have watched that movie he talks about
No
nature
idea.
versus nurture that is the reason he separates them do watch that movie if you haven't just to understand this okay otherwise that movie is not worth watching I'm not promoting any movies over here okay second one read the sentences below and discuss the questions read both the sentences which are given. So the first sentence is genes can influence both our physical traits and our personality traits. Whereas the second sentence it says genes influence both our physical traits and personality traits. Which part of the sentence looks different over here?
Ma'am, can. The inclusion of word can.
Very good. The
Yes,
inclusion of
convert.
the word can. Hmm. Now, what is the difference in meaning between these two sentences? How does the word can change the meaning of the sentence?
One, it is showing the affirm. No, one, it is showing that it is 100% sure,
It's a
and can is
fact.
creating.
It's a fact. No, when
Yes,
can is
yes,
not
ma'am. It's
being
the
used,
fact.
it's a fact. And when we use can, what do we mean then?
Opinion.
It's a possibility. Along
Possibility.
with
Yeah.
opinion, we are saying it's a possibility. Correct? Now, here you have to look at the passage again. I'm going to show you the passage. You have to observe all the model auxiliaries you can. Okay? I am going to change the slide. Just one second. Here you go. Try to observe all the model auxiliaries which are used.
Done.
Okay, next. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Got all of them?
Can, may, could.
Hmm. Okay, very good. These are the main three that we use, which are the models for possibility. Now, what do we mean by possibility? Whether something could happen or could not happen. So we are saying it's possible. Okay, so that's where we use our model auxiliaries, which are can, could, may, and might. When we want to express that something is possible. When do we use can? Can is used to talk about a general statement that is possible. It is another way of saying able to. Okay, so in a sentence, remember we either use be able to or we use the word can because they almost have similar meanings. Okay, now next that we use over here is the word could. Could is the past tense of verb of the can over here. Okay, and we can also use it to talk about possibility either in the present or in the future also. I could do that for you. So we are talking about future. Okay, someone is knocking at the door. It could be Mary. So we are saying it's possible that it could be Mary. That's how we will use it. Then we use may and might. May and might are used again to talk about possibility either in the present or in the future. Now understand this, when we say might, it has a weaker possibility. When we say may, it has more possibility. Okay, that's the only difference between these two. Clear? So I might say Jack might be in the classroom right now. He might take a taxi home since it is raining, or he may take a taxi home since it is raining. We can use them in both ways. Clear? Any doubts over
Yes,
here?
ma'am. Clear.
Okay, now I'm going to give you some sentences. You have to try to identify which one could fit in the places which are given. Okay. Now you know can, opposite of it is cannot. Then you have could not. Correct? Might not. May not. So you make them into negatives.
Done, ma'am.
Done, Ranjali?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me your answers quickly. First four,
Ma'am,
Ranjali,
first
you
one
tell
is
me. Okay, go on. Hamza, first four, you tell me.
may. A
May.
final decision has not been made yet, but the psychology department may host a campus lecture next month.
Very good, correct.
This pen cannot be Shirley's since she broke hers yesterday.
Very good, correct.
Parents who often behave poorly could affect their children's development negatively.
Correct.
He might have the book with him since I cannot find it in here.
Very good, correct. Pranjali, next four.
The language that people speak may affect their way of thinking.
Can, can affect.
Oh, okay.
Possibility की बात कर रहे हैं.
Uh, the result of this experiment can be reliable because there are not enough sample to analyze.
Cannot be. It's a negative statement, na? Cannot be reliable
Oh,
because the samples are not enough. Hmm.
okay.
Cannot. Hmm.
Decades ago, misbehaving school children could be asked a right sentence on the board 100 times.
Correct. Good. Hmm. Last one.
It might cost a lot of money to travel abroad.
It can.
Okay.
Okay, can. Practice it a bit. I will share some exercises also after this. Remind me. For can coordinate. Remind me of once. Okay. Next, over here, we have another part. Recently, more concerns have emerged about the education of children. A question under heated discussion on the internet is who, parents or teachers, should play a larger role in teaching children to become more responsible members of society. Okay, over here, now we have to read this blog post and then I would be asking you a few questions again.
Done, ma'am.
Sanjali done?
1 minute.
Sure, finish it.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, now what is the main purpose of the blog post?
Mm.
To describe
Hamza, what's your guess?
Um, to persuade.
To persuade. That's correct. Okay, it's trying to persuade us. Next, over here, we look at what are concessions and what are rebuttals. Now, whenever we argue, whenever we are in an argument, there is a concession and then we have a rebuttal. When we use a concession, basically, we acknowledge a point made by the opponent. So, if you have ever engaged or if you have ever participated in a debate, you might have observed that sometimes some people also agree with whatever the opponent is saying. Correct? After the concession, we generally state a rebuttal where you demonstrate why you disagree with the opposition. Okay. We might either agree or disagree with the person, and we agree or disagree. Whenever we do that, we will give a rebuttal also. That is why we agree or why we disagree. So, using a concession and a rebuttal can make your argumentation stronger and more persuasive. So, this is important for your task two, if you remember. In task two, you have to either agree or disagree with the statement which has been given over there. And when you agree or disagree, you also look at what your classmates have said. Your imaginary classmates over there, they have said. Correct? So that's where your concession and your rebuttal will be useful. So whenever you use these points, you have to make sure you use the sentences like you use the connectors like but and although. Although I agree with Pranjali, I think it is not useful to be focused more on nature part of psychology more than nurture. That's how I will give a rebuttal. Understood? Now over here, I'm going to
Yes,
show
ma'am.
you some sentences, and you have to try to identify whether they are which sentences do have a concession and a rebuttal, and how do you understand them.
First one, ma'am.
First one, what about the second and third?
No.
Third one, are you
Second.
sure?
Yes, ma'am. Second one, I am sure. And third one, I have to check again.
Read it once more.
Yes, ma'am. Third one also.
It's a concession and a rebuttal, correct, Anjali?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
First and
I'm
third.
confused in third one.
Why are you confused? Although it is common to only spend about a year with each teacher, we always learn, or one always learns something new and different from each teacher that we have. Correct? So it starts with although.
Yes.
Correct? That is the reason. Now over here, I'm going to show you some statements. You have to come up with opinions with concession and rebuttals. Okay, now you have two statements. Smoking should be banned in public places because it could expose other people to secondhand smoke, or smoking should not be banned in public places because it could limit individuals' right to freedom. You have two sentences. You can either agree or disagree with it, and then you have the second one. Students should not be allowed to use phones in class because they may distract people from learning. Correct? And the second one is again given over there. So try it once. You have to write down at least 100 words. When I say write down, you're going to type it.
Ma'am, I have to go,
You
like,
have
I
a
have to
class?
leave early for the class. Yes, ma'am, because
Mm-hmm.
nowadays Ramadan is going on, so I have
Oh,
to
yes.
open my
I'll
fast.
try. I understand. I understand. No problem. I will share this sheet with you. Try to complete
Okay,
it. Even after this, you just have one more writing exercise. Just try to complete it. Okay?
okay, okay, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. And from tomorrow, I'll try to keep the class in the morning time so that we
Sure,
don't get disturbed. Okay?
sure.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Also, ma'am, can you share some practice sets?
Thank you, ma'am.
No problem. I understand. No problem. Practice sheets, primarily, these are your practice sheets. Okay? The way I told you that day, if I share anything from uh, external websites, the difficulty level varies. Okay, so your
Okay,
TOEFL guide and these sheets are only helpful for us. You can use the external practices, but the difficulty level varies then. Okay,
okay, okay.
still I can
Sure.
share some exercises for writing with you.
Also
Okay.
for speaking various topics.
Mm, okay, that we would be doing in the class, so don't worry.
Okay,
Hmm,
sure.
hmm.
Thank you.
No problem.